Okay, well, you've just seen the Priority One theme, and as promised last week and the week before, I'm now in Canberra, and I have on countdown the Prime Minister, Mr. Bob Hawke. Mr. Hawke, it was, almost a year ago that we launched International Youth Year.
Yep.
And you said then that the government would concentrate on youth through 85. You also said that in the address to the nation earlier this year. The promise has now come with Priority One. Can you sort of explain, first of all, what Priority One really is all about and how it came about?
It's about young people.
Right.
And it came out of our acceptance of our responsibility towards the young people of Australia, and particularly in International Youth Year.
Right.
But we didn't want to just do something in 85, have a splash and forget it. Priority One is calculated to address the problems of young people in 85, 86 and beyond, because they're the greatest asset of this country. So we're talking about education, employment and training, other things as well, but essentially those things, so that we're going to be able, as a country, Molly,
Right,
to get our resources properly organised in a way which is going to help the young people of this country.
Well, now, you've often referred to the problems that you're aware of facing youth. You're now giving them a chance, and this is the Priority One pamphlet, where you, in fact, can pick this up in cinemas, at the CES, and just different places, and make sure you pick up one of these. You're giving the chance now for the government, and personally yourself, for the next week or so, for the youth to air their views, grievances, or for what?
Well, that's right, because we accept the responsibility as a government, Molly, to work out these programs in a way which we think are going to help to meet the problems of young people. But it's always been my view, because I'm closely associated with young people,
right,
that they don't want to have things just shoved down their neck, we oldies working out what their problems are and telling them how they should be solved. So we've accepted our responsibility of getting the thing going, but the purpose of the phone-in and my talkback appearances is for me to listen, basically to listen to young people. There'll be many, many phone calls, not just the ones I'll be able to take personally. They'll be computerised, and so as well as me getting directly from the calls I take the views of young people, we'll also have a profile then built up out of the computerised bank of phone calls,
right,
and the expression of views, so that we'll be able to make a judgment about two things. One, what are the young people themselves saying about their problems and the sorts of things they ought to be done, and secondly, therefore, are there some modifications in the approach that we're adopting to take account of the views of the young?
Well, obviously there's many. You see them all the time. You've touched on unemployment and many issues of unemployment that have byproducts. You're making yourself available on the radio stations right around the country: Adelaide, SAFM, Perth 6 PM, Brisbane FM 104, Wollongong 200, Newcastle 2NX, Sydney 2MMM, and Melbourne Eon FM, and Hobart 7HO. Right, well, as I say, we've now launched Priority One. It's something that's not just going to be over now until Christmas. It's going to be a continuing thing, as you said, that can go on for the next 2 or 3 years, until perhaps something is sorted out. I might also add, Sydney are very lucky in the essence that they have this great concert coming up, and that's on 8th of December, Sunday, and that's in the Domain, and there's a hell of a lineup of acts there, and in fact you'll be attending that as well, to open that particular concert. Well, listen, thanks very much. I think it does give a lot of hope. As I say, please pick up one of these pamphlets when you see them at the CS offices or around cinemas, and it gives you all the information, I think, that needs to be told, and gives you, I think, a lot of heart once they read this. The last thing, you've given me some good news, and I'd like you to say it, because I was just blaming you out when you told me before.
Well, it's relevant to what we've been talking about. That is the inspiration, the views, the attitudes, the thoughts of young people. I think one of the outstanding events of this year has been Bob Geldof's inspiration to the world, and your very important part in it here in Oz for Africa. And Bob came to see me here in this office just a few weeks ago, and he said to me directly the sorts of things that he hoped that we might be able to do. And one suggestion he made is, could we help with aircraft for the distribution of famine relief food in Africa? So I thought about it, and so what I've decided is that we'll make 2 Hercules aircraft available. They'll need to be refitted, put into operational form, and we'll fly them to Africa. That'll cost about $1.7 million. I've got that underway now, and those 2 aircraft will be in Africa and operational by February of next year. And we're pleased that we've been able in that way to respond to the magnificent initiative of Geldof internationally and you and the young people of Australia.
Well, I think that's the greatest news I've heard. You'll be hearing more about Live Aid and an auction coming up after we go. Would you like to throw to the Australian top 5?
Yeah.
Would you like to just say, here's the Australian top 5?
What do I say?
Here's the Australian top 5.
Just like that.
Well, use those hands. I'm an a bit too.
Here's the Australian top 5.
Thanks.